The Port of Newport on the Central Oregon coast is a regional hub for tourism, fishing, wood processing, and recreation. However, one of the port's most important features sits unused. The docking facilities at the international terminal have been ravaged by environmental problems and require a massive cleanup to reopen.
The terminal was built originally back in 1946-47, and uniquely enough, it was built by sinking two old concrete Navy vessels in place. After sinking them, they filled them with dredge material and leveled them off and put a hard surface on them. Over the years, of course, these ships, the weather and the tides took its toll on especially the Paisley, which is the most western pier and ship. It started to crack, and in 1996 we found out that there was still oil in that old ship. So as a result of that cracking, a small amount of oil leaked into the bay, and that started the real concern of the condition of that old hull. Since 2001, 2002, the terminal has been closed.
The environmental issues for this site was that there was residual contamination left on the site, on the ships, and what it included was oil, oily water, asbestos, lead paint, and metals in the ballast material.
Because of the contaminants and the sensitive environment in the bay, cleanup of the terminal required the cooperation of many different agencies. It began with help from the government through the Brownfield program.
DEQ is one of 12 state agencies or federal agencies that worked on this project, and our job was to basically make sure that the Brownfield piece was done correctly and also to coordinate with the other agencies. It's important to meet with the project team, and it's also important to work with the construction people to understand the limitations of the project.
The biggest challenges that we're facing here at the International Terminal project is the unknown conditions. Every time you dig in the ground, every compartment that you go into on either of these two ships, you have discoveries, and many times the discoveries are costly.
The project itself is pretty risky. We don't know exactly how these ships will act as we deballast them and take material out of them and do the cleanings. It's taken years of thinking and scheming and planning to get to this point, so as we begin to clean these and ultimately demolish them, the reward is at the end when the job is complete, when you walk away.
Well, the Port of Newport is one of two deep draft ports on the Oregon coast, so obviously it's very important. We're particularly interested in making sure the international pier gets replaced and rebuilt, becomes functional so that we can capitalize on our import-export business.
There's an interest in wave energy developing off the Oregon coast, so there's a good fit there for renewable energies, so it's something that we're looking at for the long term, and also continuing to work with offshore with National Marine Fisheries, NOAA, in the ocean observation programs.
Redevelopment of the terminal goes hand in hand with the creation of the home port for the NOAA Marine Operations Center Pacific across the bay.
Even though the NOAA fleet is not a brownfield site, they're actually helping each other because they're using similar mitigation sites. They're using similar contractors on that site. So it was nice to have the synergism, and it actually helped the state agencies permit both sites.
The opportunities that we're developing here have definitely complemented the NOAA project and helped bring NOAA here. The boats that left are coming back. And there's a lot of interest in marine research. This will be a site where staging can happen, where heavy lifts can happen. There'll be the opportunity to do a lot more heavy work here than on the regular docks that the ships will be berthing at.
Supporting these efforts is the Port of Toledo, upriver from the bay, which recently purchased a closed boatyard and reopened it for use. The boatyard provides maintenance capacity for the bay's fleet.
One of the unique things we have is the distant water fleet that fishes in Alaska. And we have nearly 30 vessels that travel back and forth between Alaska and Newport. So the Toledo boatyard has been down for several years now and just getting back online. So this will benefit the fishing fleet, especially the vessels that use our East Pier there at the terminal.
Together, the redevelopment of the international terminal, the creation of the NOAA home port, and the opening of the Toledo boatyard will provide jobs and spur economic growth for years to come.
On local jobs, initially, of course, there's the construction jobs, and the community is rather vibrant with this $40 million worth of activity that's going on here. Long term, of course, the NOAA facility is going to bring in 200 jobs, and that's significant for a community of this size.
Over the next 5 to 10 years, the terminal project will benefit the Newport community and the region through the opportunity for imports, exports, cruise, and also ocean observation and marine science. We're looking forward to the next decade.